Okay, so this third video on forming is going to teach you guys how to use different tools to make very sharp edges. So is anybody making a box form? Okay, a rectangular prism. Okay, a pyramid. Okay, all of those have sharp edges rather than curves. All right, so far we've been using the horn of the anvil, we've been using the bracelet mandrel. Now we're going to use the vise, and we're going to use this steel form that has a really sharp edge. All right, it doesn't matter which one you use, it kind of depends on what you want to do. So pretend that this is a structure that I want to be turn into like a fence or a box. I would have my lines drawn on here, exactly where I want to bend it, and I would put it inside the vise. Raise your hand if you kind of figured this out on your own.
I do.
Very good. Now you can take this. This is not annealed because to bend this copper, it's pretty easy. Okay? If I want it to be even crisper, does anybody have a suggestion? Hammer it. I'm going to tap it. Now the only thing you have to think about is when you're making bends and folds. So that's a pretty nice bend.
90 degrees.
I know. That will give you a 90 degree. Can I use other degrees on here?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Just don't bend it as far, right?
Yeah.
I know. Crazy. So just be careful when you're starting to make folds. You might want to test it with your paper model because this tool itself could start to get in the way of your folding if you fold too many times. So it might make more sense to fold it in the middle and then work your way out. It might make sense to fold them all on the edge and then get closer to the other side. It just depends what form you're trying to make. So I highly recommend doing it with the paper model first. All right, I could do the same thing over here. Sometimes you might have to because this is so thin that this will less likely get in the way of what you're trying to form. It's just a little harder. So you could have a friend hold it, or you could hold it yourself. So what I'll try to do it over here so the camera can see it. I'm gonna hold this down and I'm gonna bend it. So it's not as sharp as a bend, but I can then hammer it. A friend could be really helpful at this point, so make some. And then that can also make a fold. This is always going to be crisper, you guys. It's just stronger. It's holding it. There's pressure on it, okay? But this will also work for things. All right, the next thing I wanted you guys to do was, so does everybody understand how I would then form this? If this is a rectangular prism, how this is sharp edges? I could use, well, it's already put together, so I can't show you. But I could bend it at this, or I can bend it here. And I would want to make sure that I have my lines drawn exactly where it is, using the template from my paper model, transferring it onto the metal so that I know exactly where to bend it. Make sense? Okay. And then after you bend it, you would put it together. So it's the opposite of the cone. If you're making a cone, you put it together first. But if you're making something that has edges, you put it together last. All right? Okay. Final thing. This is the rooftops that some of you are making. So this is my square. You can also do a rectangle. All right. The only thing is with this, you have to cut out a hole in the middle. So if you want yours to be closed, you'd have to like maybe make a little cone to go on top or put a rectangular prism through it. Because the only way to get this to fold with the tools we have is we need to take it from corner to corner, and bend it like this. So I'm going to put it in here because I like bending it like that better, in here. Okay. I'm not going to do it super tight because I want you guys to see it. Okay, now I'm going to open this back up. Now, if I'm making that rooftop, I have to be able to bend this, right? So that's why I have a hole here, so that this corner, so that this side isn't being bent at the same time, and I'm able to just bend this on its own I know you can't see that. Here. So I'm going to put it to the corner, and I'm going to begin to create a form that goes. Does everybody see what I'm starting to do here? See how that's starting to form into the rooftops that you guys are interested in doing? So after I get them where I want them, I can reinforce them with the hammer. Okay, I got that one. Final one, finding this area here, corner to corner, and I'm going to form that down like that. So it's a little lopsided, so I got the rough draft of it, right? And then if I want to form it more, if I want to make it deeper, how would I make this deeper? I keep doing it. I keep hammering this, okay? And I make it more, like right now it's probably at a 45-degree angle, this corner. If I made it a 90-degree corner, it would be steeper, right? I can also try to bend this down a little bit with a hammer. And then if I want this to be curved, flip this upside down, take a hammer, and I'll show you what it looks like with one being like nicely curved. So you could use the horn of the anvil, you can use this bracelet mandrel, and you can begin to maybe make this nice and rounded and curved. So I would keep working on this, making it sharper, making it look nice, but that is what you do. You go back and forth with that. Does that make sense? Excellent. Thank you.